but
How about now?
there you go. There you go. Sounds good to me. We're just running down some stories of the week. So if you have anything that you would like to bring to our attention, you can do that. We were going to hit Dr. Foz up next. Vagai was just telling us about a Pokemon Go festival that ended with disastrous results in Chicago, unfortunately. To kind of cap in that story, and don't let me take this away from you, but Niantic, as an apology, did of course refund ticket prices and gave those in attendance a was it $100 in-game currency? I think.
I think that's right.
That was it. Yep. They did not repay for airfare.
I think it was 500, but that's still.
Oh, was it 500? Okay.
That's still not much considering these are Niantic bucks that they make.
True, but $500 in Niantic cash, so to speak, is a lot of Pokeballs to purchase.
That's true. That's true. I wouldn't throw it out. I wouldn't turn it down.
No. Fair enough. But anything else you want to add to that story there, bad guy?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it. We'll wait and see how the litigation plays out, I guess, and hope that there are rosier times ahead for Niantic and Pokemon Go players the world around.
Did you really expect it to go perfect, though?
No, I didn't really care about it, to be honest. I just wanted that legendary. I was like, yay, go Chicago Strangers. Get that shit so I can get that shit.
Something if it was like a riot, like a Pokemon just rioting.
Yeah, there was talk of that could have been the way that it's. I think everybody was too damn
hot.
Too dehydrated and hot to riot.
Well, let me ask you this, Vagai. What's the largest gathering of Pokemon Go players you've personally experienced?
That would be at the Nathaniel Green Park this time last year, the first weekend of the famous 2016 Pokemon Go Summer of Love.
So
what
crazy.
Would you estimate?
The attendance?
Yeah, like 200-300?
It's the only time I've ever seen all parking lots of Nathaniel Green filled. So I would say closer to 400 or 500.
400 or 500? Okay. Harry, how about you? I know you went on a few excursions when Pokemon Go was still something that interested you. I think you mentioned to me one time that the St. Louis Zoo was a pretty hot spot for it. How many would you say were in attendance there?
Oh, thousands, dude.
A couple thousand?
Oh, it was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the St. Louis Zoo is, the second biggest zoo in the country as it is anyways. And of course, I've been there many, many times in my life, and I have never, ever seen anything like that before.
Really?
Yeah, it was an event. I mean, every single motherfucker on their phone. But everybody was one. Everybody was friends at that point. Hey, you need to go check out this over there. And he's like, oh no shit, well, you need to go over here and check this out. It was absolutely insane.
I remember hearing stories of the train. You can take the train and there'd be so many Pokestops.
If you take the train, you could just literally hit every single Pokestop in the place. So if you just stayed on the train and kept doing your loop, I mean,
get that armrest band,
dude,
for sure.
You were golden.
Just bring a few extra battery packs and you'll be good to go.
Poor zoo animals.
And that's just we had extra phone chargers. And
there you go.
You're like, we don't give a fuck about these real animals. Let's catch the invisible.
Screw these guys.
So, did you experience any connectivity issues with a couple of thousand other players at one location?
Yeah, it was hit and miss, but I mean, all in all, the experience was pretty cool. Definitely, like I said, something I've never been a part of before.
Mm-hmm. Well, my thing is, it seems like for an event of this size, and Vagai mentioned that there was possibly upwards of 20,000 individuals at this location. And I know that this time last year, places were getting stress tested with maybe nowhere near the 20,000 congregated in such a small location area, but surely, they were handling hundreds of thousands across the nation as they experienced, Pokemon Go for the first few months that it was out. You would think that they would have something in queue to kind of monitor, the the performance of this. So it does seem odd, kind of like Vi Guy was saying, that they weren't a little more prepared. But
Well,
how can you be prepared for
they took
20,000
some measures. Do you guys? I used to work for T-Mobile, and I learned about these things that all cell phone provider companies have called
Sure.
COWs. COW. It's an acronym. I don't remember what that stands for, but a cow is basically a portable cell tower that's on the back of a 16-wheeler truck trailer.
Okay.
You could take this thing to any kind of site that's experiencing, let's say there was a thunderstorm and the cell tower on that site was damaged. You can park a cow there and it'll basically do the job of that tower. Or if there's an event like Pokemon Go Fest in Grant Park in Chicago, they could park it in the vicinity to improve cell service.
To boost the service. Yeah, I
yeah.
gotcha.
They did those things. Nobody really knows what went wrong. And we may never find out. So.
Yeah, it's true. But that being said, Dr. Foz, do you have a story of the week for us?
I have a story of the week about the PlayStation Plus price that they're going to be raising in August 31st.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard this. They're raising it.
It's mainly for the European. Which kind of startles me. Like, are we next? You know what I mean? So the price is going to be changed live for August 31st. And let's see. That means that they're gonna. It's so funny because like they're saving up these cards the cards that you get for like in the games or whatever, like you scratch off and you get like
2 months free or something like that.
They have like this like black market going on right now.
Hey, you gotta capitalize on it where you can. If you buy a new game and they give you a few weeks free, you might as well hang on to it after that price jumps up. Maybe you could make a little more on it.
Well, also they haven't really explained why they're changing the price. They haven't came out with any release or anything, so it's kind of still up there. It just, I guess this is fairly new news. Just kind of curious.
You think maybe it's just a test?
I don't know.
If it goes over there well, if they don't really see a drop in patronage, you think it's something that they'll be like, okay, let's roll it out to North America now?
I don't think so. I think the European stock market's really messed up right now. Didn't they, like in 2016 they had like a drop on their stock market?
I don't know.
Well, I think fears surrounding Brexit and the Trump presidency are definitely throwing off global markets, not to mention European.
Oh, it's just weird how it just starts there. Like, what's next?
Huh. Yeah. I don't know.
They have that new TV thing they're doing, so maybe that's why they're upping it to start there.
What?
They got like this TV thing that they're trying to.
Oh, PlayStation View. Yeah.
It's interesting you should mention that because right now Sony's allowing people to beta test the new big firmware version for PS4. Funny thing is, if you go to the site to sign up for that beta, it requires your PlayStation View ID.
Now, so almost kind of forcing you into View.
Yeah, without really explaining why.
Now, can you sign up for View without actually subscribing to it?
I'm sure you can in a way via a 30-day free trial that's not really free.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's why they're maybe starting there, because they might tie in the PlayStation Plus with that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe
that
that's
would make sense.
But you figured if they're going to up the price and put it out there, that they would justify why they're doing it instead of just leaving it up to so many guesses. So actually hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, better transparency is always better, in my opinion.
But that's it for me. I thought that was interesting.
Fair enough. Harry, how about you? Any interesting news you come across this week?
Not really, man. You know what I've been doing all week. I've been on a 12-day work stretch. This is my first weekend in a couple weeks, so
12 by 12. Jesus.
Yeah, so basically move $800,000 worth of parts from one unair-conditioned warehouse to another unair-conditioned warehouse on the hottest weekend of the year.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
How far was it? Did you have to go? Or
it's only like 5 miles, but there was only 9 guys.
Oh, God.
So the shop that we were in, that took them to move. It took them a week to move $50,000 worth of parts. We did it in 3 days at 800 some odd thousand. And we're still not done. I got to go back this weekend too on Saturday and do the rest of it.
Man. Well,
so I've been dead to gaming, man. Been dead to gaming.
Yeah. Well, it'll make this what you've been playing go really quick, I'm sure. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Hey, my paycheck was pretty bitching though.
You gotta love an overtime paycheck like that, I'm sure.
Especially when you get double time on Sunday.
Oh, nice. All right, well, fair enough. Some other gaming news that I wanted to go ahead and mention out of our stories of the week is some of the games coming out in August. August is what, tomorrow? Starts Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday is the 1st. So, just as a quick rundown, we have Tacoma is coming to Windows, Xbox One, and Mac OS. It's kind of like Gone Home, but it takes place in a space station, I believe. Kind of a horror walking sim, from what I gathered. Is anybody familiar with Tacoma?
I remember seeing it at not this last E3, but I guess it would have been 2016 E3. I thought they were.
Tacoma sounds like a code name for new hardware.
Yeah.
That was where I was born in Washington. Was Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, there you go. It's about 6 people who have been thrown into the situation and are about how crisis can pull them together or push them apart. How much detail you find out about who they are and what they are up against is, depends on your playthrough experience. So it sounds interesting. I think it would be a good opportunity. Kind of reminds me of like, Harry, what's that one that we that you got me into? Firewatch.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like, Firewatch really played out a lot of different ways depending on how much information you collected in the world. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But so we got Tacoma coming August 2nd. Now, these are just some of the top games. I'm not hitting everything, obviously, but Ark Survival Evolved is coming to Linux, Mac OS, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. Now, the early access has been out since, I want to say late 2005, if I'm not mistaken. I know at least on PC. I think it came to Xbox last year, sometime 2016, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, I guess it's finally getting out of early access and is coming to a full price release of $60. So I think the early access was like $30. So if you still want to get in on that cheaper price point, do it before August 8th. Is what it sounds like. So anybody have any experience with Ark?
Yeah, that game is like completely like, which mod is better? It kind of makes you ruins the game. I think with so many mods, it can just change the game.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's really mod-based game, so I'm kind of curious to see when it comes to full release.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna be able to continue with the way the game was run with all the mods? Like, is it just gonna be just the game, or are you gonna have the games added on? But I don't think you can do mods with consoles.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not actually experienced it on a console. I've talked to a few friends of mine who were really into it. The thing that they told me that surprised me is that your character is always online. So even when you're not playing, your character is still there. And so you kind of have to build defenses around them. And they're like, if somebody decides to mess with you while you're offline, like they can completely do that. And I was like, man, that's pretty hardcore. I don't know if I would enjoy that.
Another thing would be the hosting too. Like, I'm just kind of curious to see how it would run for the consoles. It's just such a different game on PC. Just the hosting and you can create your own world, and I don't know. I probably put at least 20 hours into it.
Yeah.
So
did you enjoy it?
I think it was more of a hassle.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to play the game and get the right mods to enjoy it, basically. So. And you got to be careful because some of the mods they can ruin the game for you for sure.
Yeah, you don't want that. Okay.
As is the
Well,
nature.
yeah, unfortunately. um, I like the concept. I just don't think the execution is probably what it could have been, but we'll see.
What else is coming to console? Sims 4 is coming to
I did
PlayStation,
read that.
Xbox
Yeah,
One.
over on our Facebook page. That was recently. I think Ironclad pushed that out. Um, pardon me. Yeah, Sims 4 coming to. Let me pull that back up real quick. Do you have that pulled up there, Harry?
I don't. I just kind of remember seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I saw something about that earlier today. I took a quick look. Um,
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't. Is this the? Surely this isn't the first Sims coming to Xbox.
I don't know. To me, it is. I can't recall any other Sims that's ever been on the console.
They had one for PlayStation 2.
Oh, did they?
Oh.
Well, there you go.
I want to say I thought I played the original Sims on 360. Maybe that was Sims Herbs or something weird. They had so many spin-offs back in the day.
Yeah, it was
Oh my God.
like an urban Sims or something like that.
Yeah,
New York
something like
City.
that.
Sims Pets, Sims Urban.
Microstore, listen. Yeah. Sims 4 headed to Xbox One. Doesn't give a date here that I can see. But yeah, Ironclad posted this earlier in the week. I don't know. I enjoy The Sims, and I know for a while we were kind of doing an IPR Sim follow. I know I fell off of mine pretty hard. Oh, wait, it does give it a November of 2017. Looks like Sims 4 should be able to.
Isn't that the subtitle? The Sims 4 falling off hard?
Could be. Very well could be. Probably should be. I think I know maybe less than 3 friends that still sim it up hardcore, but
Kind of falling off like Guitar Hero or Rock Band, honestly.
yeah, right.
You know, this is a little off topic, but while we're talking news,
Sure.
The Switch app is making news. Dr. Foz, you own a Switch. Have you fucked with this at all?
No, I haven't. I haven't even turned it on. And it's been a while.
It sounds like you're probably better off. I mean, it's a slick-looking app. It functions very well. But the voice chat on Splatoon 2, it requires this app. And when you're using it, voice chat between you and your homies is perfect until you do anything like turn the screen of your phone off, check your text messages.
Hold on. So let's go ahead and explain a little bit. This is not an app on the Switch.
No, it's the Switch app for smartphones.
Okay, so as in instead of like the 3DS that has a certain level of chat built into where you can actually chat over the 3DS itself.
Yeah, just using a little microphone hole.
Right.
On certain games, like
on certain games, correct. This is not working through the Switch, but working through the phone app.
So like Xbox Smart Glass.
That makes me so mad. Just.
So again, the voice chat is fine, but if you check your text messages or you do anything other than look at that app, it breaks voice chat and you got to start all over.
Now, do they have an app for the computer?
No,
I don't think so. I think it's smartphone only. That's Android and iOS. No Windows Phone support.
Of course not. Of course not. Plus, I mean, this is Nintendo. They're a direct competitor with Microsoft, so of course not.
That would be pretty funny.
True. I guess Sony doesn't really have a smartphone to contend with, so to speak. But
so let's hope that improves a little bit. If this is the app that you're going to be using for all multiplayer matchups using your Switch, not just Splatoon 2.
That does seem odd. All right. Well, some other releases that we have coming this month, this upcoming month. You guys familiar with Lawbreakers?
No.
Sound familiar? Anybody?
No.
Okay. It's coming to PlayStation 4, Windows. It's basically the successor, Cliff Bleszinski's next game, who did the Gear of Wars title. Lawbreakers is, I don't know, it launches for $30. And it's basically a multiplayer. experience. It's coming to PlayStation 4. Of course, you will need PlayStation Plus in order to experience the multiplayerness of it. I think it's kind of a contender to Overwatch, maybe, but set with a lot more jetpacking, from what I gathered. I saw a brief trailer that I don't know, could be interesting, but time will tell. August 15th brings us Agents of Mayhem. This is a PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One title. It's kind of an offshoot of Saints Row, and it's an open-world third-person shooter. Your characters are kind of amped up / superhuman, and a lot of Saints Row-ish jokes also embedded into this game. Could be a sleeper hit, but it's definitely a multiplayer shoot 'em, kill 'em up experience. So I don't know. Yeah, anybody get much into the Saints Row experience?
Oh,
Nah.
No, I mean I've got GTA 5 sitting on my shelf, but I don't play it. You think I'm going to play a lesser version? Probably not.
get down on some Vice City though.
It may be a lesser version, but I think it never took itself too seriously, which I can't say of that about GTA. So I don't know. I always appreciated Saints Row. I got into Saints Row, the first three, I think, pretty good, and they were enjoyable. So I like what that series does for sure. But also coming August 15th, I know, Harry, this might be one we have to get into, but Nidhogg 2 finally sees release.
Good God.
Yeah. Now, the first one was pretty minimalistic as far as graphics go.
Correct.
That was the last PC game I've played. You bought that for me on Steam, Stu.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think we did play a few matches, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
The sequel, it's not... I mean, the graphics are definitely upgraded from maybe Nintendo to NES.
Right.
Or to Super NES. But... Pardon me, but it's still pretty simplistic in its overall design.
You still just two dudes poking each other?
Pretty much. You can disarm characters now. If you lose your weapon, you can disarm them with a kick in some cases. Of course, the backdrops are surreal. There's, depending on the site you go to, you can, I know on YouTube, I think I caught like 20 minutes of gameplay that you could see. But like I said, this is a nice concept for a game that's pulled off pretty well, so definitely worth checking out. Let's see, Sonic Mania is a Switch title that's being released. I don't know if there's any love for Sonic that you guys still have, but it's also coming to PlayStation, Xbox One, and
now this is
PC.
the one based on the first three Sonic games.
Correct.
Right?
So it's
Just
gonna have they basically remastered the first three games, I believe, and then they added a whole shit ton of like new levels that it's still the same type of game, but now they're adding a whole bunch of new content.
I wish they would do. You know how Mario had like this Mario Creator or whatever. I wish they'd have one for like Sonic. Man, that'd be
Sonic
so
Maker.
cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd be on.
Yeah,
you know
that would make sense.
Yeah, for an old school platformer like that, you'd think it would play well, but
Sonic Mania, I gotta say, at least on paper, the way you've described it, sounds like a Sonic I would want to play. Which is not a phrase that I ever thought I would ever again.
It's got Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, all redone.
It's like take the games that everybody did love and just sneak in some added content, like lots of added content.
It's pretty much what they're doing from what I'm reading.
Yeah,
here,
all the music's updated, everything. The whole game has been updated.
See, now that seems to me like something that would be a perfect fit on a Sega mini home console.
Is somebody watching a Disney movie?
I don't believe so. I believe that guy is still working through Nier Automata.
I just beat it accidentally.
Nice.
And, and what you're hearing there are credits music.
Oh.
One of 54 endings that you'll be able to access. So.
This is the third one I've seen, but something tells me this is like supposed to be the first real ending.
What ending did you get? A, B, C, D? I think they go alphabetically.
There's a letter that represents each of the endings.
Right.
So I'm guessing that means 26 or fewer endings.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Did it say which one you got?
This is the third one I've seen. The first one I got was by something I read on Kotaku, which is that if you go into your submenu that controls the chips that you have in your circuit board on your body,
Yeah.
if you remove the OS chip,
it blows up.
You just drop dead. You get
like a self-destruct.
You get a silly little self-destruct in there. So I've got that one and a couple others. But I'm definitely... That's the thing. If you've never played a Nier, watching the credits roll doesn't mean shit. You keep playing. And each playthrough of the game is different. The content is different. The story is evolved with each one. So basically, there's no end in sight with a game like this until it kind of tells you, hey, you did everything. Here's the final ending. Maybe you can put all these things together and it'll make sense to you. I'm hoping it does make sense.
Well, I want to readdress that when we get into what we've been playing, but let me finish out this list real quick.
My bad.
No, you're good. August 22nd, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. This is the offshoot that follows Claire. What was her name? Stephanie, maybe? The female protagonist, right? Anybody?
Sure.
Uncharted? Nope. Okay, great. Well, if you liked the engine of Uncharted, here's a game that doesn't feature Nathan Drake. So check it out. It's coming to PlayStation 4. Let's see. Madden NFL 18 also drops in August. It seems pretty soon. But this is the first Madden that's really come with a story mode. I don't know if you guys caught that at E3, but not that I'm a big Madden fan. To be honest, I'm not. But you actually have a protagonist, David Wade, I believe his name is, a former college star at Texas. He's been out. Pardon me. He's been out of football for several years. Wade will struggle to find his way back into the Pro Football League and fulfill his dreams. So, Long Shot is, I believe, what it's titled. I don't think this is what real Madden players, like people who buy Madden every year, I don't think they want a story mode. Do you guys feel like a story mode was going to bring anybody to Madden who's not already into Madden?
Man, I don't know. I would say no, because that game is just such a niche game, man. Like,
the
people who play that, the people who play that are fucking hardcore, and they know it front to back. So I don't really
exactly. I feel like it's just another distraction for somebody who's into Madden. Like, oh, okay, great. Now I got this story mode, but all I really want to do is kick people asses online with my ultimate team.
Right.
I think with Madden, the main thing is trying to keep it each year as true to life as possible. The stats, the players, everything about the players, the way the players look. That's the kind of shit that I think Madden players care about. And as long as you keep delivering that and updating it and trying to make the player models look, incrementally more lifelike each year, I think that's the goal. And I think those people are going to buy it one way or another.
Well, what I'm curious about is because of the addition of the story mode, you follow from what I've read and heard on other podcasts, this player starts out in college, then makes his way. So there are one or two games that you play at the college level. So I'm curious if they added college team matches or games that you could play in multiplayer. It does say that this is the first appearance that EA is doing colleges since a canceled football series back in 2013, an NCAA football series that they had settled a lawsuit for by former gamers, because as you know, college players are not able to receive compensation for anything really from what I understand. So I'm not sure how they got this worked out. I think it's all because it's fictional players and no real players that they were able to pull this off, which obviously doesn't work if you go to Pro League, because what's the fun of a Madden game with all fictional players? Yeah, exactly. So moving on to something that I personally find a little more interesting is a game called Absolver. This drops August 29th, the end of the month, coming to PlayStation 4 and PC. Absolver is a hard game to wrap your head around. It's kind of a MMO mixed fighter, from what I get. Did anybody play Jade Empire back in the day?
Nope. A little tiny bit.
Okay.
Not enough to tell you what it was.
Fair enough. Well, this one has different melee combat styles. you have different stances that you can do and different things like this. The best way to describe it is probably catch a video on YouTube, just type in Absolver, and it'll pop up with a player preview. But there is a certain artistic freedom to the graphics that I like personally. It's somewhat ambiguous, but not a huge amount of detail, but more so than you'd probably expect. I would say along the lines of maybe, what am I thinking here? It's taking too long to come to me. I apologize. Oh, God. What's the one? Handsome Jack. Borderlands. Kind of reminds me of Borderlands, the artwork, a little bit. In any case, check it out. Also, the 29th brings us, and this is one I'm truly interested in, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to take the Switch back, by the way, when that game comes
out. Fair enough. So I have until August 29th. I like that. There you go. I like that. It's kind of like XCOM, but with Mario characters and Rabbids, which are basically, if you're not familiar with Rabbids, they are basically like French little rabbits. It's like French minions.
Do you remember the Quiznos commercial with the weird little tooth monsters on it singing about "We Love the Moon"?
No.
Okay. You sure? Well, never mind on that
one. You sure that's a real thing?
Yeah, or was that like an acid trip?
Well, it may as well have been one. JibJab.com is where that commercial came from. Do you guys remember JibJab?
I do remember JibJab. Yeah.
They had these weird little tooth animals they would make with like outgrown teeth and giant bulging eyeballs. And Quiznos at the time was doing a marketing campaign where they were trying to do stuff that internet people would pay attention to.
Gotcha.
And so they just made this weird fucking commercial. They made these weird retarded ass looking rabbits. I know that's an offensive term, but you know what I mean. These rabbits are called rabbits because they look like rabid rabbits.
I did like how you put it, Stu, like the minions, I mean, that's not a comparison to that, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're meant to like rabbits, you know? It's like you said, they're like little henchmen.
Yeah.
Real quick, kind of off topic, you were talking about somewhat offensive terms. Me and the missus were having a conversation. We're noticing a lot of the children's songs that we grew up with have been altered for our daughter. And a quick question. Is the term Indian an offensive term?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, it's something that we still call Native Americans, even though we know they have nothing to do with the country India.
Okay, so maybe that's why it's offensive. I couldn't figure out exactly why it was offensive, and
it's a term that stuck. It's the Columbus and the boys were like, "Hey, look at these brown people. We must have found the trade route to India." No, and we just never corrected it.
Okay, that makes sense. I appreciate you solving that mystery for me. I never. Well, here's the thing. Growing up, there was a song, 10 Little Indians. You guys remember that?
10 Little Indian Boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
now they're calling him boy. It's already racist.
Well, they had changed it. There's one that was like buses. There's one that are kittens. They had like all sorts of different ones. And I was just like, what's the matter with Indians? Like, why is that? I guess Native Americans didn't flow off the tongue quite as well.
Did you know the term gyp? Like, I went to the bookstore, but I got gypped. Did you know that that's offensive?
No, I
It's short for gypsy.
Oh, wait, you got gypsied?
I got gypped, as in a gypsy sold me some bunk shit.
Fair enough.
Man,
so wait, is gypsy an offensive term?
Oh yeah, clearly you're not European.
No, I'm not. What? So what do gypsies prefer to be called?
No, gypsy is not offensive. Gyp is offensive. It's like calling a Japanese person a Jap.
Jap. Mm-hmm.
Jip Jap. JipJap.com.
Oh, expanding boundaries and opening minds. InfinitePlayRoom. That's what we do. August 31st, we see the release of the sequel, pre-sequel, I guess I should say, or no, prequel to Life is Strange, Before the Storm. Anybody play through Life is Strange?
It was free 1 month on PS Plus, and I started to play it.
Yeah.
But I ended up liking the PS4 home theme for Life is Strange better than the game itself. You're just wandering around a room, man.
in the original
house, rather.
title, you have well, that was with
You can go to school.
Gone Home.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're right. I am confusing the two. Okay.
Yeah,
Life is Strange. You're this girl. You're an adolescent girl,
exactly,
and you go to school and shit, and that's as far as I got.
Okay, you actually have time powers that let you like rewind time, so you can like play a scenario out. If you don't like that outcome, you can rewind it and like make things happen differently. That's about as far as I got to it. So I didn't get much further than you. But in any case, this takes place prior to the events of the original Life is Strange. Let's see. The original was 5 episodes. This one I thought was 4 from what I read. In any place, if you like the first one, this gives you more backstory to the character. And it could be interesting, I guess. Chloe, I think, was the original character, and you interact with her friend Rachel in this one. I can't speak to more because I don't know more. But Life is Strange, a walking sim with powers. Have fun. Then last on the list is Resident Evil Revelations. Now, I've played a Revelations that I really enjoyed, and I guess they're just updating it and bringing it to next-gen consoles. Is that right?
No idea.
Okay. I know I played Revelations on, was it a 3DS? Resident Evil Revelations on a 3DS?
Yeah, that was a 3DS title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it on there too. That was a good-ass game. And then they started coming out with more Revelations titles in episodic form on PS4, and I don't think it did well.
No. Okay. I know it's on the Xbox as well. Xbox Revelations was, I looked under their free games the other day and I saw it listed there. This new updated version, Xbox Revelations, stars, of course, Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. It's set between the events in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5. Basically, they're on an abandoned cruise ship and you kill infected mobs. So that's pretty much the gist of it. But so that's what's coming out in August. Keep an eye out. If there's anything that you're excited for that we didn't mention, please head over to InfinitePlayRoom.com/Facebook or Facebook.com/InfinitePlayRoom, whatever the moniker might be, and let us know. We would appreciate it. We're going to go roundtable real quick on what we've been playing. It doesn't sound like a lot of us have had as much time as we might have hoped. So, real quick, let's just go ahead and start with Vi Guy, since you've just wrapped up Nier Automata from what it sounded like as we were speaking.
I don't know if wrapped up is the right way to put it, but yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. What was your experience with this playthrough of Nier Automata?
Well, this game is a lot more action than it is RPG, which I should have known. The first game was the same way. The thing that the two games have in common is they're both set in a post-apocalyptic world where there really aren't any humans left. It's just a bunch of machines and androids. This game, Automata, draws a very, very, very clear distinction between machines and androids. They're not the same thing. Or sorry, machines and cyborgs. Cyborgs look like people, like the protagonist 2B and her helper boy 9S. They look like people with blindfolds on, but that's because they are, reanimated human bodies with cybernetics. Whereas the robots of the world are aliens that invaded, and they all look like stupid, clunky 1950s. I made this in my garage robots.
Something out of Fallout.
Yeah, exactly. Rusted, just kind of hobbling along, kind of thing.
Okay.
The unexpected thing about this game that I didn't know is how during my first playthrough, you run into a lot of groups of these old rusted robots that are speaking and behaving in disturbingly human ways, exhibiting emotions, attachment, lots of stuff you wouldn't expect a rusty, stupid 1950s Fallout robot to be doing and saying.
Okay.
And so I'm going to have to stop there because I'm getting into spoiler territory, but having just beat the game and watched the credits for the first time, I still am no closer than what I've just described to understanding this world, to understanding this story. So I'm going to keep beating it and keep unlocking new content until I do until I do understand it.
Okay, I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's definitely going to keep me going. It's interesting. And it's nice to have time to play it now that I've got a brief reprieve from Mortal Kombat X. Jesus Christ. I mean Injustice 2. I've been trying. I've been grinding and grinding and grinding. I haven't ground on a game this hard in a long time. Just trying to get all 31 characters that are out right now to level 20. And I did it last night.
Nice.
Green Lantern.
Congrats.
Green Lantern was my last guy because he's the one I care about at the very least.
Which Green Lantern is it, if I may ask?
Well, I've got skins. I've got, I think, 10 different colored skins. I've got Love. I've got Death. Death is black. Love is
Lantern,
pink.
yeah.
I've got blue. All kinds of.
Are they all Hal Jordan, or do you have like Guy Gardner, John Stewart? Do you have?
Well, I've got a Premier skin for John Stewart. But the trouble with Premier skins is even though the voice actor changes and the look changes, the Premier skin does not show its gear. Right?
Oh,
so if I'm really proud of all the level 20 gear that I've unlocked for Green Lantern and I want to show it off, I can't do that on John Stewart, unfortunately.
Oh, that is something that's a little disappointing.
A little bit, but I don't even know who John Stewart is, so I don't give a fuck. I'm playing this to beat up comic book fans.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, well, good to hear, good to hear.
But that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to go much further into it, but that's what I've been playing.
Okay, sounds good. Harry, how about you? I know you've been working your balls off lately. You got what little time you've had for games? You've been playing anything you want to share?
That's just it, man. I haven't had like any time for games, as you know, but I did, and I already sent you guys the picture. Get this nice little piece. It's my Arctic cup. It's all nice and customized. InfinitePlayRoom. It's a pretty black.
That was fucking hella cool.
This is like the closest thing I got to, normalcy in the last couple of weeks. So very, very proud of this thing. But thanks to Erica too, who I took care of on Facebook to make sure to call her out. And so if we ever need anything else like this, we can do it.
Sweet, 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 sweet. Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty jelly. That looks amazing. Hopefully that is going to be...
Or maybe it'll be a Christmas present.
Oh, boy. Well, I can only hope. I can only hope. But yeah, that looks sharp. That looks hella sharp. So, yeah. What, about how long did it take, do you know?
2 days.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
Ain't bad at all. Cool. And you just basically sent her the file, I guess, or what?
Yeah, I just texted the picture to my wife, and then she gave it to her, and she did her magic too, because I'm pretty sure that that particular font on here is a font that we made. It's not, you can't find it. Pretty sure somebody hand drew that. But yeah, man, she made it look good.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Pretty cool. It's definitely a conversation piece for sure.
I wish somebody would make me a font. I didn't know you make a font.
Well, I mean, so I think it was Ironclad who just did it in paint or something. I don't know what he did it with, but he made it on his own, and it just turned out to look pretty good.
Speaking of paint, did you guys hear that Microsoft is doing away with MS Paint?
No, what?
No longer supported.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I never really utilized it personally, but
no,
it was a nice. It was a nice opportunity for sure to.
It was an art medium. Granted, not much of that art was great, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like if I was to get on a school computer back in the day in middle school, a computer that had no games, like no Minesweeper, no Hearts, there's always Paint. That's basically a video game.
That is true.
Yeah, valid point. Valid point. Well, I hadn't heard that, but all right. Well, let's see. I guess that puts us to Dr. Foz. Dr. Foz, what have you been experiencing in your gaming world lately?
I just went back, way back in the 1997, played some Final Fantasy VII. I never did get to experience the Honeybee Inn. I was like, why not? And it was pretty interesting, and it brought back a lot of memories, so.
Right on.
Which for me, just I think that's literally the only game I've played in in like a week. Yeah, that's pretty sad actually.
You're gonna play one in a week. That's the one though.
Yeah. It is summertime, supposed to be outdoors and enjoy nature in this wonderful Missouri weather.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's great.
Well, I have, due to the kindness in Dr. Foz's heart, have been enjoying Breath of the Wild on the Switch that he was kind enough to let me enjoy.
I'm jealous.
Oh, man. I know when that game came out, we talked it up and experienced it, but I got to reiterate, the gameplay mechanics, just the game systems, play so good together. It's amazing. It's so enjoyable, and
I don't think there's going to be much argument this year for Game of the Year.
I mean, I don't see how it could.
I think you're right too.
I don't see how it could. If you haven't played this game yet, do it somehow. I mean, I would say it's worth getting obviously a Switch, but even a Wii U. To experience this title.
Are the Switches available now, or what's the deal on that? I haven't really done any shopping lately, but
they're around. You just gotta know where to find them.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're willing to put the time in,
finding a Switch is like finding a rare Pokemon. You gotta have dedication.
I think they got.
They're not as bad,
right? I mean, I just seen like 3 at Walmart the other day.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just have to...
but you spot them all the time. I don't know what that's about. I spotted them once, listen, and I was there to buy tires. God damn it!
But you're also looking at opportunities that aren't necessarily as what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to more rural places. Vigai in Springfield is a little more
metropolitan.
Populated. Yep, exactly. So you're going to run across that more. But myself, I stay in Farmington, Missouri, which is like a very small experience of a town. And so you have a lot of people that...
Those are the Walmarts you want to go to.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So... in any case, this is probably where I've been spending most of my time, of course, outside of Elder Scrolls Legends, which I've been thoroughly enjoying on my phone and tablet. It's definitely a good experience. I know we took last week off due to some technical difficulties, but majority of last week I was playing Wildlands. Which I really enjoy. I really enjoy.
He keeps hitting me up. He's like, "You want to play Wildlands tonight?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm so freaking burnt out." No, I mean I do, but I can't.
I'm too tired. No, I get it. But that game plays so well. When you pull off a sync shot together with a buddy, like you mark them, you say, "All right, I got 1, you got 2," and it's 2 snipers in a tower, and you count it off and pop them in the head, and they both go down with nobody being alerted. Like. That feeling feels so good. Like, I will say Wildlands is probably the best co-op experience I've played this year by far. Like, it's just so good. It's, really makes me feel even worse about The Division. Like, The Division I enjoyed, but I wish it was what Wildlands is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, too, man. It's once you play Wildlands, you're like, man, I wish The Division would have done it this way. Or, like, you start finding things where you're like, man, fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong, Division's a great game, but...
Yeah. But I think what really improves it is the fact that your damage is much more realistic. Like, it doesn't take much to take you down in Wildlands. If you get 3 guys shooting you, you're pretty much going down.
Yeah, it still carries the ghost, and that's how all the Ghost Recons have always been. Like, you can't. It's not your typical run and gun Call of Duty. It's like you got to be real careful and think about the situations you get yourself into, or else you get killed pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, definitely something to consider. That being said. Between Wildlands and Breath of Wild, to be honest, since I've got my hands on Breath of Wild, I haven't gone back to Wildlands because I really enjoyed playing Wildlands with others. And as Harry has mentioned, he's not had a lot of time. And but Harry, let me know when you get a chance to hop on. I'll definitely be there to play some Wildlands because
Hell
I'm
yeah.
down for that.
Hell yeah.
But all right, guys, that's most of what I've been playing. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention, a title that I really enjoyed within the past month was Friday the 13th. And they're having their first major update to the game. I'm just going to hit some of the high points in the patch notes that I looked across, but increases stability due to memory issues, which if you've ever played that game, you found that most of the issues come with staying logged on during a session. If you're going to have some trouble, it's because you got kicked. So fixing the stability was a big plus. There's some matchmaking fixes as well. It should decrease the amount of time that it takes to actually matchmake. It adds a random option in the lobby. It doesn't really go into more detail. Fixes issues with Jason's morph cursor not always showing up if you're morphing from place to place consecutively. Disables inhale sound effects for breathing while in a hiding spot, which I am assuming Jason could hear. I played Jason so few times that I couldn't really speak to that, but a huge ton of fixes for Jason, such as not always aborting the knife throw when stunned was something that happened. It fixes a case where it's possible to get stuck when you're doing a knife throw. Certain interactions with objects in the environment, like doors, is getting fixed. Certain things like that it really needed to address. Some host-specific crashes they're fixing, which was very frustrating when you spent 15 minutes in a game and something like that happens. Placement issue with dropped items in the environment. Just a lot of little things like this that will make the game much more tolerable. Not that it's not a fun experience; it's a great experience. If you get a chance to play this game, it's worth it for sure. But I definitely wanted to bring that to attention. So, guys, that's going to do it mostly for our gaming news side of things.
I got one tiny thing.
Please.
For PS4 owners, Doom is free this weekend.
Yep.
If you want to get through the campaign because you never did, now's the time. But it also comes with all the multiplayer DLC.
Do it.
This is all free.
Do it.
So
nice.
I'm thinking about re-downloading the game just to see how they've improved the multiplayer. So.
And speaking of free games for the weekend, I know that by the time this actually gets loaded up into iTunes, since Ironclad does most of that, this will probably be done. But on the Xbox side of things, Diablo 3 is free to play this weekend, along with Titanfall 2, which I know some of our listeners are big fans of, mainly the Buttery one. And Haywire Ranger are two listeners that really are enjoying that experience. So in any case, let's kind of wrap things up. I know each week we kind of do what's making us happy or something that's a little bit off topic for video games that we enjoy, but still in the nerdosphere, if you will. Harry, I found an article this week that I just had to mention to you. For those of you, we're big fans of Rick and Morty. The third season starts tonight on Adult Swim. Well, I shouldn't say starts tonight, but they are picking it back up, and I think episode 2 starts tonight.
Officially kicking it off.
Officially, correct. And McDonald's actually responded. I don't follow McDonald's on Twitter, but they actually have found some Szechuan sauce from 1998. I don't know how good it could be, but apparently it's the stuff of dreams. And they did post like 3 containers of it. Did you happen to catch that story?
So
Harry?
This is what happened. The co-creator of the show, Justin Rowland, joked that he had been in contact with McDonald's at the San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
And basically, I guess people found, obviously after the episode, people went apeshit and did a whole bunch of petitioning and all this weird shit. So Justin Rowland actually gets a jug of this shit from McDonald's with this letter. This is a quote from McDonald's. "We wish we could have brought more of the sauce, but we couldn't risk keeping the portal like that open. Think about it. If you knew in 1998 that McDonald's would have all-day breakfast in 2017, you wouldn't want to stay in 1998. Of course not. If we left the if we left the portal open, we'd have puka shells, bucket hats, and boy bands as far as the eye could see. It's too risky, even for a sauce as delicious as this.
Puka shells.
Well, that's pretty lighthearted and funny coming from McDonald's. That's nice. They could use some good PR.
And then this morning they updated the 3 pictures, or the picture of the 3 containers of the Szechuan sauce, and it sounds like they're going to be rolling it back out for another run.
Does anybody actually remember the Szechuan? I remember the movie Milan, but growing up,
the sauce is fucking good, dude.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, outside the show, I have no real recollection. So
You've never ordered Szechuan chicken at a Chinese place?
Yeah, but I mean, come on. How often does a fast food version of something actually equate to the original item? You know what I mean? So, Szechuan chicken at a Chinese restaurant, absolutely, or whatever it may be. But the translation to McDonald's, I'd be surprised. But hey, if it's, I will say this: if they carry it at my local McDonald's, I'm getting some. Gots to.
Oh yeah.
So.
I mean, it'll be just like the episode too. It'd be like, just give me all that you legally can give me.
True enough. I'm surprised we're not seeing some like Rick and Morty type of promotion with McDonald's by now.
You might. Who's to say? You know. But when they actually posted, when they tweeted that up, they put the time and date of the new episode and everything on their Twitter.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. I did see that. So.
And what else were they saying? Yeah. They were saying that this is how crazy this shit was. A bottle of this stuff sold for $14,000 on eBay.
Oh my God! $14,000?
A single bottle.
Oh my God! Wow.
How do you get a bottle of it if it's a McDonald's condiment?
You work or be inside McDonald's, I guess.
Yeah, gotta have the right connections for sure.
Or you squeeze out a shit ton of packets and do a Heinz 57.
Right on. Well, hey, for real, check out some Rick and Morty. It's well worth your time. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Anybody have anything else they want to throw into the mix before we give it a wrap?
You mow my grass for me?
No, I'm sorry. I will not.
I don't
Not like you're gonna find rupees in there anymore.
What would you say, Harry?
I don't want to go back to work tomorrow.
Well, such a life.
And reality sets in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is about the time on Sundays where I go, man, fuck.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. Well. All right, guys. Well, thanks for taking the time out of your weekend. I sure appreciate it. And to our listeners, thanks for taking the time out of your weekend to listen to our gaming ramblings of the week. And catch us next week while we break down the gaming news that we find relevant. And as we're fond of saying, don't get caught.
Peace.
Facebook's the devil.
Love your faces.